Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. This episode was very weird for me because I felt like there was a couple of interesting stuff that happened, and then there was other stuff that was just either not necessary or just straight up boring. So the whole Gladys, Brando, Lucy, and Sasha scene, along with Cyrus, because he came in there a little bit, after. It was it was kind of boring a little bit, but towards the end of their scene, Gladys, being the trash ass mother that she is, walked up to Cyrus and was like, "Oh well, congratulations in order. You're gonna be a dad or whatever. Like congratulations." Or something like that. I think she said something along the lines of like you're gonna be a dad or you're gonna be a father. Yeah, that's what she said. And I was like, are you out of your damn mind? I was like, with Gladys, it's like every time you watch a scene with her, you're just always wondering, could you just get any lower? Now, of course, yesterday Gladys overheard Sasha talking about morning sickness and pills and stuff like that. And there was a scene where Cyrus is sitting there talking to Sasha. And Lucy is talking to Gladys, and Gladys is all like, oh, you know, wouldn't it be interesting if they had a baby or whatever? Their chemistry is off the charts or whatever. And at first I was like, one, that's just gross. And two, why are you, what? So of course Lucy gets the idea that, Sasha's baby daddy is Cyrus. And of course, she asks and, Sasha's like, no, that's not who he is. Stop asking. I'm not ready to sit there and give out details or let him know or anything like that. And when I do, I'll let him know and whatever. So towards the end of their scene, that's when Gladys is just like, she's like, you're gonna be a father. And I'm like, it's like I had no words at that point. I was like, are you kidding me? Gladys, just when you think that she can't get any lower, she will always find a way to just the sad thing is I felt like I had a joke lining up and I really don't, and it's just Gladys just always just being trash, I guess. That's pretty much the best way I could sit there and put it. I can't even be funny about that because the sad thing is that she is literally screwing over her own son in almost every way possible. And like I said yesterday, when Brando was sitting there telling Gladys, like, he's blackmailing me because of the information that, you gave him. She didn't even sound concerned. She didn't say sorry or anything like that. She was just like, So it was like, yo, did this all that information just go over her head? I can't with that one. I really can't. I mean, yeah, she spices things up, but she does it in a way where it's just like, you're toxic to your own son. That's so messed up on so many levels. I don't even know where to begin. So Valentine comes over to Quartermaines and talks to Brooklyn, about the baby and stuff like that. And at some point, I guess this guy named Yuri or whatever is supposed to be sitting there watching Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, she makes an exit to the bathroom or whatever. And the guy comes back and the guy's like, yeah, I don't know where Brooklyn's at. like, bro, you have one job. How do you keep screwing that up? Like, how is that possible? So, earlier she's trying to make plans with Maxie as far as this whole plan thing goes, as far as like their whole, escape plan and the babies and, like they're gonna be meeting up at some place called Beecher's Corners, which I felt like we've seen that place before. But they're making plans or whatever. So honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, towards the end, there's a snag in Brooklyn's part of the plan. When Valentine's like, so, I'm gonna move in. Me and Charlotte's gonna move in to the Quartermaines and, just where I can keep an eye on you and make sure everything is good and whatever. And at this point, Brooklyn is like, what? And we see in the next scene, she's like, over my dead body. I was like, okay, that's a little kind of dramatic, but yeah. So that should be interesting. I'm not gonna, and at first I was gonna call him Justin. The whole Ned scene was just kind of, I'm not gonna lie, was somewhat pointless. It was pointless because yeah, he came over and he told Michael that he had a good time with Olivia, and he really feels like he's making progress, and to tell her that, he had a good day, and I was like, okay, cool, all right. I, I just, it's not even so much that I didn't care. It was just like, what are you doing here? I mean, yeah, there was one part where Ned and Valentine were arguing, and Willow brought up the fact that Valentine is a good dad. And I was like, okay, cool, point for Valentine. And towards the end, Michael was like, oh, well, it's a good thing you were here because things was getting heated and, you kind of calmed down the situation. I was like, I felt like you could have kind of said somewhat similar, I didn't feel like I felt like him giving her that compliment was like kind of oversimplifying it. Like she didn't do that much. Like I felt like if she wasn't there, I'm pretty sure Michael would have calmed down the situation. So it was like I don't know. So yeah, Ned scene was just kind of pointless. Michael and Willow scene was just so damn pointless because the only thing that they talked about in the beginning was how's Chase doing? Oh well, he's better. He feels better, but he's not cured yet, and Chase thinks that Finn is keeping something from him. That's it. That's it. And I'm not gonna lie, watching that scene in my head when Michael was like, how's Chase doing? It almost seemed to me, I was like, so how's Chase doing? Is he better yet? So we can go back to doing, or he's not? Alright. Well, I guess I'll ask him another couple of days. Like, I just, like, you saw him. How do you think he was doing? Do you think, and seriously, do you think that if he was doing better, she wouldn't have told you that? Again, I felt like their whole scenes in this episode was just like, eh. Now let's talk about the whole Nixon Falls scene. Sonny breaking in. Here's the thing. At first, I didn't know what was going on. So all I knew is Sonny's sitting there breaking into his office. He trips in the lawn. He's like, oh man, like I messed up or whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, listen, I know he doesn't have his memories or anything like that, but see, this is the reason why he's in charge and why he doesn't do like the grunt work. This is why he sends like Jason and the minions and whoever else because, you leave this guy to his own devices and yeah. So he trips the alarm, and at some point the cops get called to the scene. Apparently, he must have found a way to escape or whatever, made it look like a robbery. Meanwhile, you got Elijah sitting there practically trying to stick his tongue down Nina's throat, and that's when Elijah gets a call that it was a break-in, so he goes down there with Nina, and Nina. I don't understand this woman sometimes. I don't know if it's her acting ability or something. And granted, listen, I know acting is a very difficult job, and there's not a lot of people that's cut out for it. But there was one part. There was one part where she was like, "Oh, I'll go with you," and I was like, "That doesn't totally seem suspicious. Like, what? What was that? Was that like their first take, and they just said F it? Like, I just." So anyway, she gets down there, and she drops something, or something is dropped. I don't know exactly what happens in that scene, but later on, Nina comes back. So that was the whole purpose of it, was to make it look like it was a robbery, and this way the cops can like leave, and Elijah could file a police report or whatever, and Nina can go back in and start hacking because apparently she's like a hacker now. Amazing, she doesn't actually have contacts with Spinelli. I say that because Spinelli did used to come back in the day to sit there and help Crimson out with their computer tech stuff. Anyway, that's a lifetime ago with a guy named Johnny Sakara, and now he's on Days. So, interesting. I don't know if anyone knows, but the guy who plays Johnny or who plays Jake was married at one point to Kristen Storm. Just a little info for people that don't know, which I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching this probably knows that. But yeah, so Nina, is doing her little hacking thing or whatever, and it seems like it's taking forever. I don't know what software they're using or whatever, but at this point, we all know what's going to wind up happening. Meanwhile, you got Phyllis once again doing what? Oh, trying to push Sonny and Nina together because, apparently Phyllis forgot that he was married to somebody else at one point in time. Like this woman isn't going to come back in his life at some point in time. I don't understand this. You would be sitting there thinking that Phyllis would be trying to do more to help Mike get back his memories. And she hasn't really done that. If you think about it, the only thing that Phyllis has done was give free labor. I mean, do they even pay them? I mean, does they even pay Sonny? I don't understand that. I really don't. Like, you would sit there and think at some point she would be sitting there trying to do that, but from that point that she found him to now, it's just, okay, cool, so you're going to be watching the bar for a little bit? Alright, cool, so I'm going to be going and doing stuff, like, not trying to find out who you are, but whatever. I guess we just kind of scrapped that idea. So anyway, he's on the phone with Nina, and Nina's like, she's almost got it, she almost got everything, and so he's like, you need to hurry up, you need to get out of there. Man, I wonder what's going to wind up happening. Elijah walks right on in. Yep. Because everyone who's watching this episode saw that coming I'm not going to lie, the minute she was behind that desk doing her little computer stuff, I was like, man, I wonder what's going to end up happening. Of course it happened. Carly calls Diane to get her will changed. Now at some point, Ava comes over to bring Avery for a sleepover, whatever. But Ava's real purpose was to see if she can help out Carly with anything as far as, because she knows that Carly attended the meeting of the 5 families and everything like that. And she's like, yo, listen, if you need help, I got you. And Carly practically is like, oh, I'm good. Like, I got this. Don't worry about that. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, Carly, here's the thing. You might have watched Jason and Sonny, like, do the little mob stuff and think that you kind of got everything down packed. But here's the thing. Ava was actually doing that. Ava was one of those people that was that was at the table doing the mob stuff, doing the actual work. Okay? You did one meeting. You did it well, but let's be honest. We all know that you bluffed the hell out of it. Maybe the power is going to your head, but at some point, I don't know. Maybe you might want to take you might want to take Ava up on her offer. Now, here's the thing. I understand the dynamic between Ava and Carly, but when Ava was like, listen, this is about Avery. This is about your family. This is about my family. We got to put our stuff aside. Carly still blames Ava for Morgan's death. Here's the thing about this whole Morgan's death thing. Now, yeah, Ava was the person that gave Morgan placebos. But here's the thing. She might have been the spark, the catalyst for his downward spiral into what happened. But Ava didn't tell Morgan to knock out TJ and take his car. Okay? He didn't tell him to do that. Or take Julian's car. Because TJ was like, yo, you can't do this. Like, you can't get behind the wheel. Like, this is not a good idea. And of course, Morgan knocks him out, takes the car. Now, Ava also wasn't the person that put a bomb in the car to try to kill Julian. That was the other Olivia. So while she wants to sit there and blame Ava for his death, I mean, you're treating her. I mean, granted, I understand where she's coming from. But let's be honest. You went right back to You went right back to Sonny. This is after Michael got shot, almost died, and he was in a coma for years. And you still went back to him. Okay? And this was, he was shot because he was with Sonny. And yet you took him back. So while I understand her anger towards Ava to some extent, let's be honest. All that stuff that happens after wasn't all on Ava. It's I don't know. That's just the way I see it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below as far as that is concerned. But yeah, she's like, I'm good. And then, Diane pretty much is like, I felt like she kind of gave her a warning, just like to not really be in Sonny's like business or whatever, because she has children and stuff like that. But Carly's like, I'm good because power and all that good stuff. Now, at some point, Maxie's plan hits a snag because Peter is kind of hanging out or whatever at the in the hospital or whatever to be more support for Maxie. They also, he also talks to Nurse Jennings or whatever her name is, while Maxie does her appointment. It's really funny. What is this woman's name again? Deanna. I didn't remember this woman's name for the life of me. And they could have probably said it a couple of times. And the reason why it just kept escaping me, because it was like you see it so randomly that it was almost like, what's her name again? Sort of the same thing when they actually bring in Amy. Anyway, so long story short, Maxie does talk to Dr. Navarro or whatever. And towards the end of the episode, the doctor comes back and the Peter's in the room. And the doctor comes back and the doctor's like, oh, okay, so I see you were scheduled with Britt or whatever as far as inducing labor or whatever. She pretty much is like, we could just like do that now. Like we don't have to sit there and wait. We could just do it now. And at this point, Maxie's whole plan as far as like going to Beach's Corners to have this baby or whatever and to have Brooklyn assist is just about to go up in flames, along with Bobby. It's just about to go up in flames because doctor's like, we could do this now. We don't have to sit there and wait. So seems like that's going to be kind of interesting to see how she's going to get out of this one. I think that's about it. Like I said, this episode was kind of mixed because like there was some good stuff that was going on as far as like the Sunny side story. Like that was good. I'm sitting there thinking, what else? Oh, the Gladys and Sasha stuff, like that stuff was good. That was like my second favorite part, was like that stuff. And then after that, everything just kind of just went somewhat downhill. Like, I mean, yeah, not to saying that it wasn't like interesting, but it's like the Michael stuff, like Michael and Willow was just like, okay, whatever. And then towards the end, that's when things got interesting between Valentine and Brooklyn as far as, the snag that's going to go on in Brooklyn's plan. That was interesting. Ned was just so not needed in this episode. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, bro, why are you here? Like, I understand that these actors are contracted to be on a certain amount of episodes for, contract reasons or whatever. But it was just like, bro, is Olivia going to be in this episode? No. Then, like, why do I care? Like, why are you here? And then the stuff with Michael and Willow was just like... The sad thing about this is that Michael or Chad Duke has been on this show for a good couple of years. I've been watching this show since the first Michael. Well, not the first baby Michael, but since the first Michael, which he actually came back to be that guy Levi. Then there was Garnett or whatever, and then it was Chad Duell. And Chad Duell or Michael is a very interesting character because they can put him in some really good stuff when they want to. And then there's stuff like this where it's just like, alright, so you didn't do anything, you didn't really contribute anything. You were just there to run out the clock at this point. Like, and that's the thing, sometimes I feel like every once in a while, like episodes like this, I feel like he's just wasted. Like, just in this show. And granted, it wasn't like, this was a terrible scene or anything like that, but it was just like, bro, you can do so much better with this character when they want to. Like, I miss the stuff when Michael was there fighting for custody with Sonny, and he managed to find a way to like outmaneuver him, and just some other great stuff that he was in. I also heard at one point he was there like being the guy, being the guy as far as being in charge of like Sonny's, like the mob and stuff like that. Like, that would have been really interesting. And now it's just like, what did you do today? Oh, I just kind of came in, just ran out the clock, just talked to Willow, gave her, this compliment that really was not needed, and, talked about Chase, like he just miraculously got better so that way I can start hooking up with her again. Like, this is what he did in this episode. And that's why I'm like, whatever. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. By the way, this is the second time I actually did this review because I so did not like the way the first one came out, and I was like, I don't know if this is me or this is the episode, but I'm not I'm not putting this out. So thank you for watching. I know it came out a little bit later, but I do appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this whole Ava and Carly thing, as far as like do you think that she deserves as much, and as much smoke as she's getting, because when you look at, for me, I'm just like, and yet you still chose to go with Sonny. And I'm pretty sure their kids got kidnapped at one point in time. Like, that was a thing. Mike got shot. That was a thing. But whatever. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are, as far as that is concerned. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I'll catch you in the next video.